Hi, the purpose of this video is to assist our patients with collection of the NutrEval kit from Genova Diagnostics. Upon arriving in our office, if you are sent home with this kit, we'd like to first remind patients that when they return, they will bring back this box and all of the contents with them for their fasting blood draw. I'm going to open the kit, and before we go over the supplies, I'm going to explain the requisition form. The requisition form will be partially completed by our office staff. As you see here, it is a two-sided form. Our staff will be checking off the test here that you are having done and any possible add-on tests, which are genomic add-ons that will require a cheek swab, which I will go over later. We will be indicating your form of payment. Typically, patients are using insurance, and Genova does require an initial payment of $179 with insurance. They will submit that to your insurance, and if an additional payment is required, they will deduct that $179 from the total cost of the test. Office staff will then also be indicating the diagnosis that you are being tested for. The patient's responsibility on the front of this form is to simply fill in the date of collection. If the test kit requires more than 1 day collection, you will list the final day of collection. I'm going to reverse the form here, which is the patient's portion, and you will see from top to bottom, there are different sections that the patient is required to fill out. You will be required to fill it out in its entirety. Section 3 down here is for payment, which will be in either the form of a credit card, where you would indicate your information, or in the form of a personal check. And lastly, you will be required to complete the bottom where you sign and date. This form will then be returned to the kit and brought back with you for your fasting blood draw. The NutrEval kit always consists of a fasting blood draw and a frozen urine sample. I will now open the kit so we can review some of the contents here. You will notice that the box contains a little styrofoam cooler, and again, this will all be brought back with you for your fasting blood draw. There are several items in here, but the only item the patient really needs to concern themselves with is here, bag number 1, which is clearly marked. Inside bag number 1 are the urine collection supplies, along with the patient instructions, which are very easy to follow. And we will look here now at the patient instructions. The first page here gives you an overview of the urine collection supplies, as well as the cheek swabs if you are having a genomic add-on. If we open here, you will notice that the first page of the instructions provides you with preparation. 24 hours before the test, Genova does want you to eat your usual diet and avoid over-consuming any one food. They want you to be hydrated without over-hydrating. They are limiting you here to 64 ounces of fluid over a 24-hour period. They do want you to fast the night before the test for a minimum of 8 hours. In the morning when you arise, you will be collecting your first morning urine. Our office staff will have provided you with a basic urine specimen collection cup. If you don't have one of these or the kit was shipped to your home, you can obtain one either from our office or at your local pharmacy. When you arise, you will be collecting your first morning urine into this cup here, per the instructions. You will then look inside bag number 1, where you will find 3 tubes and a pipette. You will then use the pipette to take your urine from the cup and dispense it to the top level of the tubes here, where you will cap them tightly, shake them, and place them in your freezer. There are also labels inside, which you can use, that have a code number for your kit, along with a place to list your date of birth. That way your specimens are clearly marked when they arrive at the lab. The pipette may then be disposed of and the tubes placed back in the bag and into your freezer. In addition to freezing these tubes, the urine must be frozen for a minimum of 2 hours before arriving for your fasting blood draw. Some patients prefer to collect their urine the day before if they have an early morning blood draw appointment, and you are welcome to do that. Inside the rest of the box, you will see other supplies that really the patient does not need to worry about. They are merely for the phlebotomist collection. The only portion in here that the patient needs to worry about is the freezer brick. This will be required to bring back with you for your appointment to maintain the temperature of your frozen urine. And what we recommend patients do is just place this freezer brick inside their freezer as soon as they get home. That way they can ensure that it's frozen entirely before departing with their specimens. Again, you'll place your supplies back in the box. And as I mentioned earlier, if the provider has ordered you for genomic add-ons, tucked way back here in the back of the box, sometimes a little hidden, are the supplies for the genomic add-ons. All you will simply need to do is find the white envelope as well as the 2 cotton sterile tipped applicators. Those again are in the back of the box. Per the instructions here for the patient, what we will have you do is upon arising in the morning, you will use the cotton applicators, which come in this sterile package, and you will then be asked to swab the inside of each cheek vigorously to obtain as much tissue as possible for the genomic testing. Again, all of these instructions are listed as far as saliva collection here, and you will see that you will arise. You should not perform any oral hygiene, do not use any toothpaste, and do not eat anything. You are permitted to drink water prior to collecting the cheek swabs. You will then carefully remove the 2 cotton-tipped applicators. You will vigorously rub the inside of your cheeks. And then what we recommend patients do is to stand these up, cotton-tipped side up, in a tall glass or cup so they can air dry for the appropriate amount of time, which is recommended for 15 to 20 minutes. Once these cheek swabs have dried, you will then carefully insert them back into this sterile sleeve. So when you open it, be very careful not to break it. And you will then, once they've dried and they're in the sterile sleeve, place them in this white envelope. You will then place them in the kit and return to the office for your fasting blood draw. We do recommend patients do this the morning of their test. And again, if you need to do it the day before, that's completely acceptable per Genova Diagnostics. When you arrive for your fasting blood draw, you will bring the box with you. Again, this cup can then be disposed of. It is not required. We do only ship or draw Genova kits Monday through Thursday. That is per the company's recommendation, as we don't want any of your specimens sitting over the weekend in a FedEx box where they can be compromised. Shipping for this kit is included. The FedEx envelope and everything that we need here in our office is included, and there is no charge for that. Again, if you have any questions for us, you are welcome to call the office or email us or refer to the Genova Diagnostics website for any other questions you may have regarding collection. Thank you.